So today I want to talk about emotional vampires. What are the signs that you are around an energy vampire? So by emotional vampire, we're also talking about energy vampires. So those are the guys who cannot generate their own energy. You know what I mean? So for them to survive, they have got to feed off of other people's energy. So what do I mean by this is that they cling on to other people who are on a very good vibration, and they are the guys who are going to help those individuals to thrive, to survive. If you leave those individuals energy vampires by themselves, they will collapse. You know what I mean? So when you guys have heard me talking about the narcissists, sometimes they are going to collapse if there is nobody around them to validate them or to survive. So energy vampires are very dangerous. And for the most of us who have been there, we have been in those entanglements. So we have had to hard the land way we've had to learn the hard way. But at the same time, there is things you can do to protect yourself. You know what I mean? Especially when you know the signs. There is things that you can do to protect yourself. Because let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. If you do not do that in time, if you're not awakened and you do not do that in time, an energy vampire is going to deal with you very well. You know what I mean? So it depends on the situation. It depends. This can be your friend. Probably it can be your friend. Sometimes it could be your parents. Maybe your parents they are the problem. Maybe your parents they are the problem. So we're talking about toxic people. Energy vampires are very toxic people. You know what I mean? We're talking about psychopaths. We're talking about sociopaths. We're talking about narcissists at large. So those individuals, they always want to look around for empaths. So it doesn't matter where they are. You're always going to see them whenever they find an empath. They're going to cling on to you because they already know that you are their life support. Without you, they can't make it in life. Without you, they are going to be walking zombies. So those particular individuals, if you are your friends, I want you to pay close attention. If they are asking you for everything, and on the other hand, they are giving you nothing. You know what I mean? So there's something what you guys have heard about the breadcrumbing. So those are the guys. They will take $100 from you. They will take the next 100. They will take the other 100, and in a few days, they're going to give you back $10. If you tell them that you've got a problem, maybe can they help you or something like that, they will give you $5 or they'll give you $10, or actually they'll give you nothing at all. So that is one of the biggest signs that actually you're around energy vampires. So what is actually happening is that they are actually using you for their own benefits. So the money you're giving them is pushing them to some extent because those individuals, they already know that they've got nothing to offer. You know what I mean? So they have nothing to offer. You will give them the loads, they'll breadcrumb you. You'll buy them a very expensive perfume, they will go around and buy for you a very tiny perfume, sometimes even it's worthless. You know what I mean? So those are the signs that actually one of the signs that you're around an energy vampire. Another sign that you're around an energy vampire, that is the sign number 2, is when you guys are probably in a relationship and you sleep with them. And then for some reason, after the sex, you feel like you've been sleeping with the rock. So there is no attachment. We're talking about emotional attachment because because remember, guys, that energy vampires they are spiritually empty. You know, there's nothing in there. So these are like balloons. So those individuals, when you sleep with them, you're going to feel like that sex was meaningless. Actually, sometimes you will find yourself regretting as to why you've slept with them in the first place. It is because you're sleeping with somebody who is using you and using your energy to fill them up. So the moment you sleep with them, you're going to see them running up and down. They are full of energy. They are going all over the place. And then you, on the other hand, you're feeling drained. You don't know what has just happened. You're regretting actually why even in the first place, why have you slept with them in the first place? So when you ever find yourself that you've had very, very regrettable sex with someone, you did not feel attached to them. There was no romance, there was no foreplay, there was no cuddling. As soon as you sleep with them, they are turning on the other side and falling asleep straight away. You have got to know most likely you have slept with an energy vampire. Another sign that you're most likely around an energy vampire, this is when maybe you guys are friends or maybe you have gone on a date. And these particular individuals, they are running up and down. They are going to the toilet every now and then. Now, there is something you have to learn about narcissist people. Narcissists, number one, they lack self-esteem and they lack confidence. So they're not confident. They're not confident people. So when you're with them, you will see them all the time. They're fidgeting around with their hair. They want to see maybe they made a mistake with their hair. They're trying to fix their clothes. They're pulling out their mirrors. Sometimes they're checking in the mirrors every now and then. They want to see if everything is in order. You know what I mean? Now, that is okay, especially for women. Most of the time, the women, they like to do that. But the narcissist, they overdo it. So they have always got these little mirrors and they will all the time be checking there with them, is the wig intact? Is the clothes, is their clothes in shape? Is their face okay? Is there something? They will always be checking themselves. They are not confident. You will be on a date and sometimes they are checking themselves almost 100 times a day, 100 times during that meeting. And then all of a sudden you see them running up and down. Every 2 minutes, they are visiting the toilet. You know what I mean? They want to go to the bathroom and see what is going on with their makeup, or sometimes they are running to the phone to they're running around with their phone in the bathrooms just to text somebody. Could be a friend, could be a flying monkey, or it could be somebody confident, it could be a new supply or another source of supply. You're always going to see those individuals running all over the place. So they will not be the people that are going to sit in one place and concentrate on the date. If you guys are having a date, you're going out, you're out for a meal. They cannot sit in one place. It does not even matter if you're at home. You'll always see the narcissists, they're always in the toilet. So they're in the toilet, messaging someone, texting somebody, you know what I mean? Plugging something out of their hair. They are not confident people. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. If that thing has happened to you, maybe you don't already know that it is most likely you are dealing with an energy vampire. The other sign I'll tell you guys, I'll talk about for you to know if you're dealing with an energy vampire is a person, when you're with them, everything is okay. You guys are having fun. Maybe you had a nice meal. You come from the cinema. There was a nice movie going on. You guys had fun together. It was a nice day. And then those individuals, they are going to start up an argument out of the blue. Now, when you're talking about energy vampires, those people, they thrive off of negative energy. You know what I mean? Negative energy and at the same time positive energy. So sometimes you will see them out of the blue. There is nothing has happened. Everything was okay. And they are going to start up an argument. They may sometimes remind you of something that happened many years ago. You know, it could have been something that happened 10 years ago. You have even forgotten about it. It could be your husband, let me say, for example, and there's something that happened many, many years ago. And you guys talked about it and you had a solution for it and you forgot about it. And then that particular vampire is going to bring up that subject. The reason why they're bringing up that subject, because those individuals, they don't like peace. They don't like sitting down and having a fruitful conversation. They don't want sitting down and having very, very beneficial conversations. They always have to go, because these individuals, their soul, I've told you guys, these are empty shells, they are empty souls. So these people, they thrive off of you have got to give them some feed, some kind of a you need to feed them. You need to feed their empty balloons. You know what I mean? So they are going to bring up something because they don't want you to sit down there and pretend that everything is okay. In their mind, everything is not okay. So always those guys, they have got a very big conflict in their mind. And they're always going to be fighting with you for whichever reason. So they're going to bring up something and remind you something that you don't want to hear. They may remind you something that you did many years ago, maybe on the first date, or something you did at home back in the days if they're your parents. And they are going to use that argument to feed themselves, because these individuals, I've told you guys, these are demons. So these demons, they want to feed at all times. They want to feed all the time, whether it is you're feeding them with arguments and negative energy, or sometimes when you're feeding them with positive energy. It does not matter. In whichever way, they always feed somehow. So for them, it's like they don't care. what kind of energy you're pumping towards their way. If it's negative, they're enjoying it because they're enjoying that the thrill of fighting with you and arguing and going into these confrontations. They like that as well. You know what I mean? But at the same time, they also like good energy. When you're giving them something nice, you're buying them presents, giving them good sex, you're giving them validation or things like that. You know what I mean? So that is one of the signs. If you see somebody who all of a sudden out of the blue they just jump into an argument. They bring up something that is going to cause you guys to argue. It is one of the signs, ladies and gentlemen, that actually you're dealing with an energy vampire. You know what I mean? The other sign that you're dealing with an energy vampire is when you you guys are together, you're sitting down somewhere, and then for some reason you're watching a movie. Maybe you're at home. This is your wife, your husband. You're chilling. You're watching a movie. You're enjoying yourselves, and then you hear them complaining about heat. Now, let me tell you something about these energy vampires. These energy vampires, whenever they're around beautiful souls, they are struggling. You know what I mean? Spiritually, they are struggling whenever they're around beautiful souls. So those individuals, they are going to complain that they are feeling hot. Sometimes you will see them gulping a lot of water. You know what I mean? They're going to run around in the kitchen. Maybe they will stop by somewhere on the shop and they will buy a whole bottle of water, cold water, ice cold water, and they're going to gulp that water in 1 minute. Or sometimes you will see them complaining that, oh, this place is too hot. I don't know what is happening around here. Then they're going to jump up all of a sudden and they're going to run and open the windows. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's even in the winter, it's too cold already. But those individuals, by them being around beautiful souls and beautiful people with very good energy, sometimes your energy is also affecting their energy because they are feeling that energy. They are feeling like something is burning them. So it's the reason as to why you're seeing them jumping all over the place and running around to open the windows, switching on the ACs. Sometimes you will see the house, the home where you guys are living at that moment. The air conditioning, the air conditioners, they're on full blast. You're freezing. It's cold. Sometimes it's in the winter already. It's too cold. But those individuals on the other side, they're feeling hot. So sometimes you may see them running away for a short while. If it's your partner, a relationship, you may see them sometimes running away and separating themselves from them. Maybe sometimes go and sit in the opposite chair. You know what I mean? That is because by being around you, your energy is actually affecting them. As much as they want that energy, they want to suck out that energy from you. But sometimes that energy is too much, and it actually is making them feel very uncomfortable. Or sometimes when you guys have gone to bed, maybe you guys have just you've been sleeping, everybody's asleep, only for you to wake up, and those individuals, they have already run out. They're in the kitchen eating a sandwich. They're in the kitchen watching, in the living room watching TV, or sometimes they're on their phones watching porn. They have run away from bed. You know what I mean? So if those things are happening to you and you're seeing somebody who is not comfortable being around you, they are jumping all over the place every now and then. It is a very big sign, ladies and gentlemen, that you're actually around an energy vampire. Energy vampire. So another sign that you're around an energy vampire is a person who is very obsessive with sex. Now, of course, I do not say everybody who is obsessed about sex is an energy vampire. This can be sometimes an addiction. You know what I mean? But these energy vampires, they are very, very obsessive. It does not matter how much sex you give to these individuals; it's not enough. So sometimes you'll see them after a session in bed. You guys have just had sex, and then sometimes you may catch them on their phones. They're watching porn. You know what I mean? You just had sex with them 2 minutes ago, and then they're going to run around and flip their phones and start watching porn. So you may be sometimes sleeping on the bed and you hear somebody. It feels as if you hear somebody watching porn. You know what I mean? So those are the guys, the energy vampires. Um, they are always some kind of sex addicts. So they are very much into sex. And again, I've said that it doesn't always mean that if you're addicted to sex, you're always an energy vampire. You may be somebody who is simply addicted to sex, or you may be somebody who is, um, what do they call it, who has got some kind of an addiction. You know what I mean? So energy vampires, it's a very common thing that they're always addicted to sex. And on top of the addiction, energy vampires, they always have one, two, or three addictions. You know what I mean? So for the most of you guys who have been with these narcissists, those whatever toxic people, you always know that they have got an addiction or two or three. It could be sex, it could be alcohol, it could be drugs, It could be just any kind of addiction. You know what I mean? They could even sometimes be addicted to conflicts. They always want to cause conflicts whenever they are. They cannot just sit in one place. You guys are on a party. They always stand up and cause a conflict or something like that. It is one of the biggest signs, ladies and gentlemen, that you are actually around an energy vampire. And another sign that you're around an energy vampire is when you're with a person who is very obsessed about validation. So when you're with an energy vampire, those are the individuals, they always want to talk about, oh, yesterday I went to a trip. Can you believe on that trip, this one happened and that one happened? They'll explain to you the food they ate. They'll explain to you the shape of the burger, the shape of the sandwich, the shape of the steaks. They'll explain to you everything that they have been having on that day. They will explain it. They want you to be there, and they will be feeding off of your validation. Oh, that was nice. So how did you do that? How much did you pay? And how long was the trip? They like all those kind of things, because those individuals, they want to know. They want everybody to know that they have achieved something great in life. Even sometimes very small things like eating a burger. Small things like going out on the meal and having a steak. They want to come around and tell the whole community that they went out somewhere and they were having a steak. You know what I mean? There's things like that. So those are the signs that you're around an energy vampire. So they need that constant validation. You know what I mean? They want you to engage in those conversations about the steaks they ate, the holidays they went, the sex they had, the girlfriends they are dating, all those kind of things. They're always talking about themselves. So it's always me, 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 me. I had this and I had that. I'm dating so and I'm dating so. I'm driving that sort of car. I'm sleeping in this kind of house. So those individuals, they're always um, out there seeking validation in whichever way they can get it. So if you ever have a friend of yours who is coming around and explaining to you the sex that they have had, the trips that they have went, the girls they are dating, the sex that they've had last night, the clothes that they wear, that's the Versace, I'm wearing a Gucci, can you see this one is $1,000? Those kind of things. You just have to know that those individuals are energy vampires. So they're just seeking for validation. They always want somebody to fill up their empty balloons. So that's how it works with those kind of individuals. The last sign which I will talk about to make you understand that you're around an energy vampire is a person that likes gossip. Energy vampires, they like gossip. They feed off of gossip. They are going to come around and start talking about people. You know, those are the guys who cannot keep their mouth shut. So when you're trading a conversation with those kind of individuals, you have got to know that one way or the other, your secrets are going to be leaked out to other individuals that you do not even want to hear them. So you're going to see those individuals, they are full of gossip. They will come around the next morning. They will explain to you everything. They will start talking about people. So, for example, you've been with them and you've been having a conversation. You're going to hear that conversation in the next 5 minutes. Somebody else is telling you that somebody told me about you. You know what I mean? So they like going around and gossiping about people. Because those individuals, their mind is always in conflict. Every now and then, their mind is always in conflict. They're always battling in their minds. So they always need something to talk about. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if it's something good or if it's something bad. There's always something to talk about. You know what I mean? And they like to talk about, most of the times, the energy they get the most, because I've told you guys, these are demons. So the energy that they get the most is the energy what is coming from negative sources. So for example, you may see them sometime there's been an accident. They're the first ones on the scene, you know. As an empath, you don't want to look at the damages of those people who have been injured in those accidents. You don't look at the damage. The energy vampires, they are the very first ones on the scene. They want to see who has broken their bones, who has broken their hands, who is bleeding, and who has broken their... So that's what they want to see. So when you see those individuals who are always explaining things about accidents, they want to watch those things of horror movies, very, very terrifying movies, things that are full of negativity. That's what they want to watch, because that is how they feed. So that is the biggest sign that actually you're around an energy vampire. So if there's one of the signs I've not mentioned in this video, guys, you already know. You can always let us know in the comment section below, because we can talk about a lot of these signs, because these guys are everywhere. But remember, guys, protect yourself. It's very important, protect yourself. If you see one of these signs, one or two of them, just run away. Walk the other way. Do not give them a benefit of a doubt, because sometimes by the moment you figure them out, it's too late. So when you have seen the signs, just walk away. You know what I mean? And always learn how to protect yourself, ladies and gentlemen. It's very important. So other than that, you can always book a session with me, guys, if you want to. You might always donate or support my channel if you want to. Everything you need, you'll find it in the description section below. And until then, it's been always a blessing to have you guys on board. Much love and blessings. There's Amos signing out, and I'll catch you in my next one. Peace.